What's up, YouTube? KS Gun Guy here. Thanks for joining me today as always. So I've started to notice in the comments that people have been revisiting some older videos and they've been asking a very specific question. Hey, do you still have the gun and how has it been doing? Have you had any problems or anything? And guys, I appreciate so much the comments that you leave on the channel. It's a lot of fun to engage in conversation with you, and I get some good inspiration from you guys as far as videos, this being one of them. I thought it was a great opportunity to start revisiting some of the guns in the collection, and what better gun to start with than the one that is the longest standing in the collection, at least for the channel, and that's the CZ P10C. I've owned this particular one in front of us for almost a year now, and I've got about 1,500 rounds through it. Now you're probably saying, KS, that's not a lot of rounds. I totally agree, but unfortunately, when you feature a lot of different guns on the channel, you can't really spend all of your time on any one, unfortunately. But again, around the 1,000 mark or even 1,500 round mark, I think it's a great opportunity to reassess and see how things are going. So there are a couple things about the P10 that I absolutely love, and one of the reasons why I've kept it around so long, first and foremost, is the ergonomics. Now, you guys probably know that on our sides and the back strap and the front strap, I would classify this somewhere around the medium aggressive, almost aggressive, and there were some people saying that it was probably a little bit too aggressive. I really don't think so. I think it's very comfortable. It definitely has enough bite for that gun to stay planted. It's not going anywhere. It's even got a little bit of texture on the side of the frame right there, which is great for reference for your thumb or finger or whatever it is. And it just sits really, really well in the hand. Now, there is one criticism of the ergonomics of this, at least in my hand, and it's right here under the back of the slide, the polymer right here. I think CZ probably could have softened this a little bit and made it a little bit more curved or rounded. And the reason I say that is, at least for my size hands, and you'll notice there's a little bit of a red mark probably, you might see it because I've been shooting today. The CZ tends to bump me right there a little bit. It's not bad. It's hardly noticeable. It doesn't stop me from shooting. It's not painful or anything, but I do notice it, and other guns don't do that. So it is not perfect ergonomically. Of course, I don't think there is a gun that's perfect, but it is pretty darn close. So that's been fantastic. Another thing that I really like about the P10, and a lot of people have raved about since the very beginning, is the trigger. Now, I don't have the HB Industries trigger on this right now. I've been doing some trigger work. More on that here in just a moment. So I've got the stock trigger on it, but I'll tell you, once you break in your P10, that trigger is just awesome. So our take up, almost silent. Almost. It's very clean, and then you get to your wall, of course, and you've got your brake and your reset. Right there, and that reset is tremendous. Don't worry, I'll do that again. Your take up, very clean. You get to a nice defined wall. There's your brake. And I keep doing that. I know it's because I have a magazine in there. You can tease me later. And there's your reset right there. But it is fantastic. Out of the box, I think this is one of the better triggers on the market. Of course, that's all subjective. A lot of people point to things like the PPQ, which I agree. PPQ's got a great trigger, and there are some other triggers out there that are fantastic as well. But the P10 is no slouch. So, especially once you break it in, get it past around the 300 to 500 round mark, it really starts to find its own. So, from an ergonomic and a trigger perspective, I think the P10 is just really solid. Now, it does have some night sights on it. Now, these are CZ night sights. It's the only upgrade that I really did aside from the HB Industries trigger. Again, not on this one now, but zero issues, zero failures, anything like that. And I still recommend the P10. I think it's one of the better compact firearms out there. I know some people say it's a little bit bigger than some of the other ones, like perhaps a Glock 19 or a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0C, but only just barely, and definitely worth a look. Now, it's been a year and a half, 1,500 rounds, and I decided it was time to make a change and dial things up just a little bit. And if you've been following our Wednesday night chats with Big Johnson Guns and Gear in 1776 or Bust, you know that I recently acquired a suppressor. Now, it's not on the table because it's locked up in jail for about the next 7 or 8 months, but I can go to Centerfire Shooting Sports, my home away from home, and still shoot it. It just can't leave the premises. So I decided to reinvest in the CZ P10C, and so I decided to get a suppressor-ready Urban Gray P10. This is relatively new to the market, still unloaded, of course. and threw the HB Industries trigger on it, and it's a lot of fun. I took it to the range today and put some rounds through it just to break it in a little bit, and I threw the can on it. Now I have to share a little bit of a story. No malfunctions with the can off, but immediately the gun did not like the can very much, and I am new to suppressor, so I am absolutely a noob, along with a lot of other people, and learned something. The gunsmith there, my buddy Nolan, pointed out that the can, the adapter in there and the spring inside the can needed a tiny bit of grease and needs to be broken in a little bit more, as does this P10. But once we made a couple of changes, the gun ran just fine. I've shown you a little bit of video of it not playing nicely with the can, but unfortunately I didn't capture any more video after that. I was kind of over the video at that point in time and just wanting to make sure that this would work. But even out of the box, trigger is fantastic. Exact same ergos, which is great. Now, this is not a review of this particular P10. I may do that at some point in time. If you guys want to see one, some of the differences between this and the regular one, I'm happy to do that. So let me know down in the comments. But again, right around a year, 1,500 rounds. I still love the P10. It's still a high recommendation for me. So if you haven't checked out a P10 or you're curious about it, I would highly recommend you do it. I would also recommend you check out HB Industries if you have a P10, because their triggers are tremendous and it's a great improvement. It shortens everything up just a tiny bit, and they're very smooth, very well made, and just a great addition. So guys, just a little bit of an update on the P10, how it's going, and it's just been a lot of fun. So be sure to sound off down in the comments. I'm always looking forward to that. It's great to have a conversation with you guys. Share your stories with your P10s, whether they're good or if you've had any issues. I'm always interested to hear about that. Thanks so much for joining me as always, and I will see you next time.